This movie is so goddamn good. The use of imagery and movement in this movie is what makes the movie like uncomfortable and unsettling and scary. Typically in horror movies nowadays, you have like those like cheap jump scares of like cats jumping out or someone jumping out from behind or something, and it's not really earned. Whereas in this movie, you have like the actor who plays Nikki, who has this sort of unsettling visual atmosphere or aura based on like the lighting in her face, how it's all dark and just creepy and just kind of like menacing, and it just that alone just creates the fear of what we find scary and what horror movies should be, having imagery to tell the story and not having jump scares to be like, okay, that's a definition of what we call scary, where it really isn't. People nowadays assume that, you know, scary is having jump scares, but when you actually have a director who actually knows how to effectively utilize scares and not rely on jump scares, that's when you got yourself a masterpiece. And this right here is a masterpiece. So you'd have scenes where she's with Bear in the scene and then she's from a distance just standing there and it's just pitch black, and just the stillness in her just her body and just how there's no movement or the way she might move, it just something about it just feels so like, even right now I'm getting goosebumps right now talking about it, because something about the movement and just the visual at the same time just looks so disturbing and just like wrong. Like, the best way to describe it is comparing the movie The Grudge that came out in 2004 that starred Sarah Michelle Gellar, where you have like the Grudge woman who's like walking with a bruck up back or, you know, crawling, and just the way that she moves and the way that she's like approaching people is just so like disturbing and so wrong, and it just makes you question like the world in a way where it just something like that should not exist. Using visuals and imagery is a better way at creating scares and creating just this unsettling atmosphere for the audience to see. And what makes this movie so amazing and great is that because they created so much fear with Nikki, with the visuals and the movement, the whole time whenever you see a scene that's not having Nikki in it, at least for me, I'm just looking in the background thinking, where the hell is she? Is she gonna pop out right now? Is she just gonna come out of nowhere and just do something crazy? Like, I'm almost already afraid before I haven't seen anything even happened yet. Before there's even any like jump scare that even happens, I'm already like scared. Like, it was just so amazing how this director was able to kind of like utilize fear by not actually even showing fear in certain scenes, but the director kind of seasoned that fear from the get-go. I have to honestly acknowledge the actor who played Nikki. Inde was amazing in this film. Like, she really was amazing. If she doesn't get an Oscar this year, I'd honestly be surprised. Her acting to me honestly took my breath. Like, it really did. Like, I'm watching these scenes with Bear and how obsessive she is with Bear, and just her facial expressions, her gestures, the way she moves, everything has a purpose, everything has an intention. Watching it, you feel, okay, this woman's a psycho, but at the same time, the actress, she makes you feel for Nikki. At the same time, she makes you feel empathy towards her because her love is never enough. I was feeling so many different emotions for this character because there's so much layers to Nikki. It's not just like, oh, I'm a psycho, I'm evil for the sake of being evil. There's so much deeper layers where you feel so many different emotions at the same time, and that's all thanks to the actress that plays Nikki. In my opinion, without her, there's no obsession. This could have easily been like a basic movie. That's not taken away from the director, because there is a lot of props that goes to the director easily, 100%. But I do feel like, in my opinion, the main thing about this movie that I loved was the actress that played Nikki, because her acting was just astonishing. Another thing that was good about this movie is the unintentional comedy. I have to give props to all the actors in this movie as well, because it wouldn't have landed if the actors wasn't as good. I'm not saying these other actors were like amazing, because like, they were mainly like the side piece to Nikki's like story and Bear's story, so they didn't have that much to do. But like, boy, when they delivered, they delivered. We'd have scenes where Nikki's kind of just like interacting with other characters, multiple characters, and then people were just sitting there thinking like, what the hell is wrong with this woman? Like, I was just sitting there laughing, fam. I was just like, oh my days, this is actually hilarious. But props to every actor in this film. I don't think there was any actor in this film who I thought was doing a bad job. Even if they had like a small scene, I still feel like they done a banging job. So yeah, man, the comedy part, I mean, yeah, that was a bonus for me. So obviously when watching this film, it's obvious that it's like a low budget film because of the way the camera is shot. You know, the transition between different scenes, it feels almost like a, you know, like a YouTube short film that you'd see on YouTube, in it. But it doesn't take away from the film though. And I'd even say that quality wise, it's slightly above the YouTube short film stuff, because fam, like, I'm not taking away from anything, because short films on YouTube can look really good. So that's not really like a downgrade or like a bad thing I'm saying. Nothing about that ruins the film. And oh my gosh, Bear. The first couple of seconds in this film at the start, yeah, I thought to myself, okay, this guy's you know, a likable, normal guy, but you get to a certain point where you think, oh my days, this guy is actually a psychopath. He has like a neutral aura to where he's calm. He's almost like those psychopaths to where like from a distance you would think, oh, this guy's a normal guy if you didn't know who he was. But when you dive in deeper into the dialogue he has with Nikki, you understand easily at some point where you're just like, oh my days, he is insane. But I don't know how to explain it. Like, he doesn't come across as like the cliche insane, if that makes sense. I think you get what I'm trying to say. A scumbag though, one of the worst characters I've seen in a while, from what I can remember in the horror movies I've seen, because I haven't seen that many horror movies in a while. Props to the actor who played Bear though. Like, I thought he was really good in it as well. I feel like what makes the movie so smart at the same time as well, the title of the movie, Obsession, it really does show in this movie. Even though you have characters in the background interacting with each other, but the way the camera is shot on both Nikki and Bear, it almost just feels like nothing else matters except Nikki and Bear in the scene. Everyone else in the background, it's just literally background. It honestly feels like these two are the only characters that exist in this whole film. The name Obsession very much means obsession in this film. I would describe this film more of like a horror thriller, where scares more so come from like I said, the visuals and the imagery, the acting performance of like the actress who plays Nikki, and the way the movie is shot. That's where the scares come from. There is gore in this movie, but I wouldn't say, like, if you're a person who's like, I want to see a lot of gore, I want to see a lot of like blood. Sure, there is blood, there is a lot of disturbing stuff that happens that involves blood. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a film where it relies on gore even at all. The gore is more so like a secondary thing that adds to it. People assume that scary means gore. It can mean anything as long as it's effective or utilized in an effective way. Definitely one of the better movies I've seen in horror in a very, very long time. I can't say anything bad about this movie. Like, I really can't. The only negative here in this movie that I can say there is, for me personally, you have a scene where someone's being murdered, right? And you can obviously tell that, unless I'm tripping, but from what I saw, it obviously looked like a dummy that was like being killed. Like, it didn't look like an actual human being. Yeah, it was obvious and it was noticeable, but it wasn't really even about the kills in this movie. It was just about the performance with the Nikki's character and just like the scenes you'd have with Bear and Nikki. That's what sold it for me. I feel like the dialogue in this movie was very much realistic. When you have like, you know, Bear, Nikki and their friends interact with each other, it feels like they're all friends. It feels like they know each other. And I do really like the character Ian as well. Like, he was a really good character. I know I didn't mention him before. They didn't have much to do, but when you see him, you kind of like, yeah, man, that's my guy Ian, man. That's my guy Ian. Like, Ian's that guy that you can kind of picture yourself being friends with. What can I say, man? I'm obsessed now. Like, literally, fam. I have nothing bad to say about the ending. It leaves on a note where you're just thinking, like, damn, like, okay. But anyways, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, comment down below and let me know what you thought about this movie, if you hated it or if you loved it. And if you agree with me, if you think it was a masterpiece, and if you think it's one of the best horror movies in years. In a bit, man.